this morning, I was sitting out in the garden watching the morning fog roll over the redwoods around me. It was really quiet. And I had brought a stack of my old sketchbooks with me. As I flipped through page after page, I looked at doodles that I'd drawn years ago. Simple flowers, some geometric shapes, some very messy little ink lines. Back then, those drawings lived entirely in the margins of my life. They were a quiet little escape, a little hobby that I almost never had time for. And definitely, it was never something that I took seriously. And as I sat there in the quiet, my mind flashed to a conversation I had recently with one of my students, a woman named Alice. Alice is a mother of 7, a grandmother to 24, and a great-grandmother to 3. For decades, Alice's incredible creative eye was poured entirely into making life magical for her massive family. She sewed, she crafted, she made beautiful things. But she always tucked her own personal aspirations into a quiet corner, labeling herself a wannabe artist. When she first was thinking about enrolling in my Doodles coaching week, she balked. She hesitated at the thought of taking time away from her extended family. That familiar, heavy wave of guilt set in. She asked herself, is this selfish for me to think about investing my time in a passion project that's just for me? Shouldn't I just continue to be devoting every single extra hour to my family? If you are standing at that exact same crossroads today, wondering if it's allowed for you to invest in your own creative future, I want you to stop what you're doing and take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Because choosing to invest time and resources into your own creativity is not a betrayal of your family. In fact, it is one of the most powerful, lasting, generational gifts you could ever give to them. Welcome to the Creative Business Spark podcast. I'm Ann LaFollette, creative entrepreneur, online educator, and business coach. After getting laid off in my late 50s, I found myself adrift with no income and no sense of self. But my mom always said, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. So I decided to reinvent myself and build an online creative business from scratch. Now I help women like you do the same. This podcast is where art, mindset, and entrepreneurship meet. I'll share behind-the-scenes lessons, inspiring stories, mindset shifts, and more. Let this be the spark you need to build or grow a creative business with joy and purpose. Let's dive in because it's never too late to create. Welcome back to the show. I thought it would be fun for me to show you one of the cute emoji animations that I have on my computer. But let's get serious for a second. If you've been waiting for someone to hand you a permission slip to finally say yes to your creative dreams, consider this episode your official sign. Today, we are breaking down a simple framework to help you work through that creative guilt and come out on the other side with absolute clarity. I'm going to talk about the 3 permissions that you need to give to yourself. Let's start with permission number 1. You have to give yourself permission to claim your creative calling. Can we just be completely honest with each other for a minute? There is a nagging little voice that follows so many creative women around. I've heard it from thousands of students over the years, and it sounds something like this. Oh, it's just a silly little hobby. Or, I have artist ADD. I jump from project to project and never finish anything. Or maybe it sounds like this. I'm not a real artist. Every single time I hear a woman say that, it breaks my heart because I know exactly what's hiding underneath it. Here's the truth: that pull you feel towards creating, the one that lights you up when you're doodling in a notebook during a phone call, or you're flipping through fabric bolts trying to find the perfect design for your next sewing project, or maybe you're sketching flowers on a pad of paper. It's not random. It's not frivolous. It's a legitimate creative calling, and it deserves real time, real space, and real tools. Alice expressed this beautifully when she joined my Doodles Coaching Week. She said, "I've been a wannabe artist forever and have never really made the time to pursue my artistic desires except through sewing, crocheting, making cards, and making life fun and creative for my family. I knew I needed to get through the wall that stopped me from transforming my own drawings to vector graphics, but I didn't know how to do that until the Doodles to Dollars Coaching Week. That wall Alice is describing, it isn't a skill gap, my friend. It's a permission gap. And she's not the only one. Vicky once told me, "I have very little confidence as an artist. I don't see myself as someone who can draw. I have a lack of confidence there." And another student shared that she actually quit design altogether because Adobe Illustrator felt too intimidating and difficult to understand. I want to give you permission to try again. Academic research confirms exactly what I see in our creative community every day. Creative engagement isn't a luxury for women in midlife. It is a vital component of your cognitive health and emotional well-being. A powerful study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that everyday creative activity is directly linked to higher levels of positive emotion, flourishing, and a deep sense of purpose in daily life. You weren't given this creative longing to bury it or to ignore it. You were given it to use it. Think about my student Brandy, a 41-year-old math education specialist who lost her career during a corporate restructuring. Now, I got laid off from my job too, and that may have also happened to you. For years, Brandy poured her energy into everyone else, fixing a swimsuit strap for her 2-year-old niece, sewing custom valances for her sister-in-law. Meanwhile, her own creative spark sat on a dusty shelf. She had started other creative courses before, but never finished them, and she doubted her ability to follow through. But then she heard my corporate reinvention story, and she heard how I was laid off in my late 50s, and I built something entirely new from scratch. She felt what she described as a literal tug on her heart. She called it a total God wink. She signed up for my From Doodles to Dollars Coaching Week, and for the first time, she didn't sit on the sidelines. She showed up, she participated, and that beautiful creative spark came rushing back. It was always hers. It was just waiting for her to claim it again. This leads us to permission number 2, which tackles the giant monster most of us are really wrestling with. You have to give yourself permission to see your creativity as a legacy, not as a luxury. The biggest hurdle isn't actually finding the hours in the day. It's overcoming the crushing feeling that spending anything, whether it's money, energy, or focus, on yourself means you are somehow stealing it away from the people that you love. I understand that guilt more than you will ever know, but that guilt is an old story that was never ours to carry. Listen to how Alice described the moment she finally broke free of that narrative. She said, "This time I decided to dedicate my time to me. I ultimately decided to jump in because after spending 20 years taking care of everyone else, I want to invest in my dreams." 20 years. And then there's also Adelina, who told me, "This time I want to do this for me and also to surprise my kids. I feel so trapped day in and day out, looking out the window from my office." Another student, Susan, at 56, said, as plainly as it can be said, "I love quilting for customers. However, there are only 24 hours in each day, and my capacity is at its limit. So I want to change my world. I want to start designing for myself." These women are not being selfish. They are being incredibly brave. For the first time in decades, they are choosing to show up as a full, multidimensional person, not just a role or a title. Think about what you're actually doing when you say yes to your creativity. You aren't draining your family's resources. You are introducing a brand new legacy into your family line. You are providing a living, breathing example of what it looks like to grow, to learn, and to build something with your own name on it at any stage of life. A landmark study published by the Harvard Business Review found that one of the most powerful things a mother can model for her children isn't endless sacrifice. It's ambition. The study revealed that both daughters and sons of women who actively pursued their own goals were significantly more likely to hold leadership positions and earn higher incomes later in life. They were more likely to contribute equally at home, and the ripple effect of a woman who invests in herself doesn't stop with her. It moves powerfully through generations, generation after generation. The summer cohort of my signature program, the Pattern Design Academy, is open right now. It's 9 weeks of live coaching. This program is different, and your investment is seed capital for your creative sanctuary. It's the very first brick in building something that belongs entirely, exclusively to you. This brings us to our third permission. Give yourself permission to let your family watch you flourish. Here's what nobody tells you about this season of your life. Your children, whether they are little or fully grown adults, are watching you. Your grandchildren are also watching you. And what they are hoping to see isn't a woman who quietly, gracefully steps back into the shadows. They want to see you light up. They want to see you tackle something hard. They want to hear the excitement in your voice when you say, "Hey, look what I just created." They want to watch you build something with your name on it. A custom pattern on a tea towel, a beautiful design on a tote bag, a collection of artwork that's unmistakably, beautifully yours. Remember Alice, the great-grandmother of 3? She said it best. "Even though I initially balked, I'm glad I made the investment to take your course. You can thank my oldest daughter for encouraging me to invest in myself." Alice's daughter didn't want her mom sitting on the sidelines of her own life. Allison shared a similar breakthrough that moved me very deeply. She said, "My whole life has been focused on providing a great life for my special needs adult daughter. But it's time now to make room for me too. Plus, she's my biggest fan. She loves art and has been cheering me on as I realize more of my creative projects." When you choose to flourish, you automatically give everyone around you permission to flourish too. That's what this is about. It's not just what you leave behind in a will. It's what you demonstrate while you're still here on this earth. Data from Stanford's Center on Longevity shows that adults who engage in purposeful learning activities in their later decades report significantly higher life satisfaction. And that sense of vibrant purpose has measurable positive psychological effects on the people closest to them. You are not too old. You are not too far behind. You are at the beautiful beginning of something brand new. And the women and the men in your life, your daughters, your sons, your granddaughters, your grandsons, your sisters, your brothers, and your friends are quietly hoping that you will say yes. The summer cohort of my signature program, the Pattern Design Academy, is open right now. This isn't one of those courses you buy and you let it sit on the shelf to gather dust. Every Friday during the 9 weeks, we meet on Zoom to review the material you're learning, to get coaching from me, and to address any issues that you're struggling with so that you can move forward successfully. You've spent a lifetime investing in everyone else's future. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Head over to members.artwithann.com/enroll to claim your space. Before you go, I want to hear from you. What is the creative dream you've been tucking into a corner? Leave a comment here below on YouTube because I read every single one. Your creativity is not a luxury, my friend. It's a calling, and it's been waiting long enough. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, please share it with a friend. Maybe this is the exact message they need to hear today. I always like to say in closing that I am Ann LaFollette. And remember, it's never too late to create. That's it for today, and I'll see you again next week.